so that we might share in Christ's glory. Church, we can run this race if we fix our eyes on things eternal. We can run this race if we focus on God and the new things breaking forth all around us. And if you can't see anything new, well, that's on you. Because God says, I am doing a new thing. I'm doing, not I will do, I'm debating doing, I might do, I'm considering. God says, I am doing new things. They are already in motion. They're already happening all around you. Do you not perceive it? We can rest there for a moment, because there has to be a reason that God asked that question. It's possible we won't always perceive it. Why is that? Well, sometimes we're too focused on somebody else's new thing that we can't perceive the new thing God is doing in our own world. Sometimes we have to stay in our spiritual lane. Amen. To run this race. Those of you who ran track or who run track now, or those of us even who watch the sport, we know that there are some races where you can swerve, you can change lanes, try to get that inside the track right. And then there are some races where you can't move, like your relay. This is a Christian relay. We're in this thing together. And so you got to stay in your lane, waiting for someone to pass that encouragement to you, or waiting to receive that assignment from God. We stay in our lane during this Christian relay. Or some races like hurdles. You can't just jump into my lane because it looks like my hurdle might be less than yours. It looks like what I'm struggling with, what I'm going through, might be less than what you're going through. So you can't just change lanes during hurdles. And Paul is telling us a story about a Christian race that will include some hurdles, will include some suffering for the sake of Christ. And so if we're to perceive the new thing God is doing, we have to stay in our spiritual lane. Amen. Sometimes we can't perceive the new thing because we're looking in the wrong places or for the wrong people to provide that new thing. Just a few weeks ago, we talked about God as the thirst quencher. That there are some thirsts, there are some things that can be satisfied by God and God alone. Amen. Sometimes we don't perceive the new thing because we're looking around in the wrong places. Just this week, the sensor light for the tire in my car came on, and like many of you might do, I took the car to Discount Tire. As much as I love Starbucks, as much as I'm glad that they built a new Marshalls in Bryan, I didn't take my car to the new Marshalls. I didn't take my car to Starbucks when the light came on. You gotta go to the right provider for particular things. Sometimes we don't perceive the new thing because we're looking toward a different provider. Sometimes we don't see the new thing because we just can't see. Amen, somebody. Sometimes it's time for an eye exam. What are you talking about, Pastor? Time spent with God. Time spent in God's word. That's like a constant eye exam for us. Time spent in prayer. That helps us see more clearly. Our discipleship, church. Our discipleship, how we walk with Him. Our discipleship develops our discernment. That's how we want to be able to perceive the new things when we're developing and growing as disciples. And last but not least, as the text suggests, sometimes we can't see the new thing because we're stuck in the past. And I don't mean just stuck in the past, thinking about everything that went wrong, all the bad things. Sometimes we're stuck in the past, thinking about the blessings, the good things. And that gets us distracted for whatever the new thing is. When we're reading in Isaiah, the prophet had just recalled for them how God had delivered them, how God had brought them out of Egypt, parted waters, let you go through on dry land, confuse those chariots, drown your enemies. He had just reminded them of everything God had done. That's good stuff to remember. And then the very next thing he said was, forget the former things. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on your past. Church, how many of us know that God is trying to deliver us in new ways? And some of us are standing there at the edge of the waters waiting for them to part. When God says, I have a whole fleet of ships over here waiting to carry you across. If God don't bless the way God always bless, we mad. Amen, lights and waters. God is desiring for us to sing, any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. Amen. Each day, church, we're given a chance to let go of the past so that the future might come. And so we don't look back, except to thank God. And as Paul encourages us this morning to press on, I have to wonder what's holding us back? What prevents our pressing? What keeps us from encouraging ourselves, as the choir said? What keeps us from, as Hebrews tells us, laying aside every weight that so easily entangles us so that we might run? For some of us, it's the weight of our worthiness or our unworthiness of God's love. Paul tells you this story about his worthiness. He lays out his pedigree. We read it. He's got the best possible credentials, right? A Jew by birth, not conversion, educated, born into the tribe of Benjamin, which means he was one of Jacob's favorites, which might mean a type of privilege, we would say today. A Hebrew among Hebrews. I told you last week that some of us want too much credit for the timber we bring to build the temple. I told you last week that some of us have a self-centered discipleship instead of a God-centered discipleship. And like Paul, some of us have awesome Christian credentials, and we let our lights so shine, and people see our good works, but they don't see our God. People see our good works, but they don't see our God. And the good news, church, is that because of Christ, we all have the best of credentials. Because of Christ's righteousness, this text tells us, we all can be seen as the righteousness of God. So I pray that carrying around all those things that we thought made us worthy of God's love or even unworthy of God's love, I pray that we could release that weight so that we might press on. I wonder what else might be holding us back. For some of us, it might be the fear of or the focus on our rank in the race. How's it going to turn out in the end? I heard the story of one high school runner who had run some other events, but then decided to try their hand at cross-country running. And we know it takes two different things, right? To do that 100-meter sprint and to do those endless laps as a cross-country runner. As a cross-country runner, the first race they came in number 20 out of about 23 races. But they were still proud because they had done a new thing. They hadn't been afraid. They hadn't been focused on the rank in the race. Some of us can't concentrate. We can't keep up speed when we're trying to run because we're worried about what the rank will be. Instead of just having the ability to know that the race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. What does it just look like for us to run on and see what the end will be? Amen. Church. So Paul is saying to us, encourage yourself, press on, run on, so that, he says in verse 10, you might know Christ. You might know Christ. You might know the power of his resurrection. You might know participation in his suffering. Church, they say that you can't lead people where you're not willing to go. All right.